everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, back with another Father's Day card for you. And today we're going to be making a card using a whole bunch of scraps from an older authentic loyal paper pad. I've had this for quite some time, used it tons. So I pulled out a whole bunch of scraps and a solid piece, and we're going to go ahead and make a card with this. I'm going to first start off by cutting my card base. This is an 8.5 by 11. I'm going to cut it on the 11-inch side at 4 1/4. And then I might as well go ahead and I have all of this out, do all of my cutting. I'm going to cut all of these papers down at 1-inch strips. So we'll go ahead and do all of that. And then I have another piece here that I use for a different project, so I'm going to use that to create a little base for myself. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4. So we'll do it this way. 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm just using this as a piece to adhere my strips to, so that's okay that that little hole's there. And then I have my other piece of solid, and I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to set this one aside for right now, and I'm going to take this one that I have, that's my piece of scrap there, and all of my strips, and we're going to go ahead and start putting these together. I just need some adhesive here. And I'm only going to put strips of adhesive because I'm going to actually sew my strips on. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay down my strips into a little pattern. So I'll take this one next. Blue one. And this check one. And then the solid green. Just use my scissors now to trim this off. So that gave me a nice little pattern background there. And like I said, I'm going to sew this I'm going to sew the lines going across. I'm going to sew right across the bottom of each of the different colors, and then that's going to get matted onto this solid piece of blue. Alright, I did my sewing, and I just did stitches going along the bottom of each of the 5 different patterns. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do some stamping. I'm going to keep it really simple because it is masculine card, and I found, personally, I think keeping it really simple for masculine cards is the better way to go. So I have this Happy Father's Day stamp, and this comes from a Paper Tray Ink stamp set, Fillable Frames number 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that onto my little block here, and I am going to be embossing this. So I need to find my Versamark ink, and I'm going to ink this up really good, and then I'll stamp the Happy Father's Day down in the bottom. Then I'll use some white embossing powder. Alright, while that's just cooling for a second, I'm going to go ahead and score my card base, and we're going to score this at 5.5 inches. My solid blue is going to get adhered to my card base. And then my little pattern paper that I made. And what I do with my sewing is I pull my thread through and then I use washi tape on the back to hold all of my thread pieces into place. Also makes it easier for the tape to glide over. And that is my card. It's really super simple. If you don't have a sewing machine or don't do sewing, you can always do a faux stitch line going across each of the different sections there. So that's our card for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.